Some of that love to your forecast.
You know what? Just for you. I want to talk about the snow stats because I want to bring a little love to you for the snow stats. I know you want some snow.
Of course.
I've been hearing it in the email inbox. Listen, I know. I've heard it.
Yes.
And when you look at the numbers, I understand that we could use some because we've only seen 1/10 of an inch of snow so far. Folks, I don't know how remarkable that is, but it is so remarkable to say. It's still only 1/10 of an inch of snow in Salt Lake City. We typically should have 35 inches of snow at this point in the season. We've had 1/10 of an inch. I mean, barely measurable. And even that was grapple, if you remember, technically not completely snow. But the last 1-inch snow event we had, if you were wondering, looking back at the books, 327 days ago. Yeah, that's only second place behind the all-time record of 344 days in between 1-inch snow events. And that was back in 1891, if you remember that. So it's been a while. Yikes. Let's talk about the pattern ahead, though. Over the next 2 weeks, we are still seeing great signs that it looks to become much more wetter than average across the western half of the country. And to get snow, one of the ingredients you're going to need is moisture. And we haven't had a ton of it this season, but it looks like we're going to introduce a good chance of that storm door beginning to open. But it's not the only thing we need. We also need cold air with the moisture, right? Well, here's the good news. Looks like we're going to be trending more over the next couple of weeks to a more below average to average temperature pattern, what's more typical for this time of the year. So you bring in some colder air, you bring in more moisture opportunities, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to be able to see this kind of line up and match up to give us some better results than what we've seen so far this season. It already looks promising. This is the snowfall map through next week. If you look at the western half of the country, when was the last time we were able to show you this with all of this potential snow showing up? Look at the Sierras there. May get off the charts of snowfall potential over the next couple of weeks. And again, even here in the Beehive State, looks like we could see the potential of some significant snow totals adding up for our mountains here through next week. And in the valleys, yeah, even we could see some potential snow. At least the potential is there as we go into the coming weeks. But again, it's going to be a stair-step process. So this next storm is not going to bring valley area snow. We know that. The question becomes, when does that potential start to arrive? And we'll track that for you here in just a moment. But here's a look at the weather map. We've got a front that made its way through, a little band of precipitation with those clouds across the north. Temperatures were in the mid-50s along the Wasatch Front earlier. With that northwesterly flow kicking in, now those temperatures are in the low to mid-40s. And they're not going to budge much across the north. A few more snow showers and a valley rain shower possible still along the Wasatch Front through about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Then we dry things out. Those clouds will shift down towards southern Utah as that front kind of pulls down towards the south. But then it brings itself right back off towards the north here as we go into your Tuesday. We'll start some valley rain showers and mountain snow showers reintroduced in a scattered form on your Tuesday afternoon. Then we get this decaying atmospheric river to send a surge of moisture our way as we go throughout your Wednesday. So I think Wednesday will be kind of the main event here as this first event moves through with valley rain and mountain snow above about 6,000 feet or so. And that's where we can see some accumulating snow. That continues off and on Wednesday night, even into your Thursday, as the pattern stays somewhat active before we dry it out heading towards the upcoming weekend. About 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch on average, but some areas could get closer to 1/2 an inch across portions of northern Utah, which would be some great news. We could use the moisture. As far as snowfall, as we mentioned last week, this is primarily going to target the mountains, maybe about 5 to 9 inches for the upper cottonwoods, 2 to 6 inches for the northern mountains, I'm thinking, and about 1 to 4 inches for the central and southern mountains. So with a lower snow ratio, I don't think it'll pile up as much as we'd like to see. But it's one of potentially many more systems heading our way. So kind of wrapping it up, more of a rain event for the valleys, more of a snow event, although not a blockbuster snow event for the mountains. And again, most of the moisture coming in on Wednesday. But we may have more opportunities, especially by the time we get towards next week with colder and wetter conditions. St. George, upper 60s for highs Monday into Tuesday with clouds on the increase, scattered showers Wednesday and early Thursday. Then we dry it out for the weekend. Meanwhile, the Wasatch Front will be in the mid-50s. Well, that was this morning. Falling temperatures this afternoon into the low to mid-40s. And then we'll stay unsettled with off and on chance of precipitation. Best chance on Wednesday. Tapering off Thursday. The weekend right now looking mostly dry.